Hello my beautiful people, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Esther. Today's tutorial I will be showing us how to make this beautiful bubu kaftan gown. As you saw at the beginning of this video, we're going to be copying the one that we saw at the beginning to make this one. So guys, if this is for your first time of seeing this channel, please don't forget to hit on the subscribe button and turn on the bell icon to get notified whenever I drop a new video, and give this video a thumbs up if you find it interesting and share with your family and friends. So with that said, let's go straight to the tutorial. So guys, I'll be using this fabric. This is a adire, or you can call it what's it, kaftan, and I will be using this material to design it. I don't really know what this material is called. It looks like a raw silk, but if you know the name, please leave it on the comment section. So I will be using this and this plain one to combine it. But before I do that, I will go ahead and use a piece of paper to illustrate it, because the length of this fabric is 45. It's not up to my client length. So I'll be using a piece of paper. I'll be cutting it on the longer side, and I'll be using a piece of paper to illustrate it, as my camera cannot cover the whole table. So this piece of paper, let's assume that is the fabric. You fold it into two, and then you go ahead and fold it into four like this. Make sure you smoothing it. This part is unfold, and this will serve as my shoulder line, and this part also is unfold. This will serve as my center front. The hemline is open, the side is open. So this is it, and the full length, my full length is 60, including the turning allowance. So I'll be taking my shoulder measurement. My shoulder is 16 divided by 2 is 8 inches. I'll go ahead and mark it on the shoulder line like this. Then the next thing will be my neck width. I'll be using a neck width of 3 inches, and the neck depth, we are going to be using only the back neck depth here. The neck depth, I'll be using 2 inches. You can use one and a half, you can use 1 inch, you can even use half inch if you want, but I'll be using 2 inches, and this is for my back neckline. Then the next thing that you're going to do on that shoulder line, where you mark your shoulder divided by 2, you go ahead and mark the length of your sleeve. You determine how long or how short you want it to be, but my own sleeve length is 15 inches. I'll be removing 3 inches from it for the plain material that I will be putting. Then I'll go ahead and mark 12 inches. Then from the shoulder line downward, I will mark my sleeve opening. I'll be using 13 for my own, including seam allowance. You can determine how open you want yours to be, so I'll go ahead and use it. Then coming to that part, I will mark my bust measurement, but I'm not going to be using my bust measurement for this, because this bubu is very free. So I'll be using my hip measurement for this. I'll divide my hip by 4. My hip is 44, divided by 4 is 11. Then I will go ahead and add 3 extra inches, or 4 or 5. It depends on how open or how free you want it to be, but I use 3 inches for my own. Then I'll connect it down to the hemline. So that is to say, the measurement you need here is just your hip, your shoulder measurement, the neck width, the neck depth, and that is all. The sleeve length, the sleeve opening, that is all that you need for this. You don't need your waistline, your half waist, your bust measurement. You don't really need it. It's your hip you are going to be using for this. Then you go ahead and cut it out. Cut everything out. and this is what I'll be having. When you open it up, this is what you'll be having. Remember, the shoulder line is still closed. It's not, we will not cut it open. It's together. So you open it up and pick one side to serve as your front and one side to serve as your back. So as you saw at the beginning of this tutorial, the plain pattern is not down to the hemline. It stops somewhere around the half cut. So my half cut, which is my shoulder to my waistline, is 17.5 inches. So I'll go ahead and mark from the shoulder line. I'll mark down to 17.5 inches, but I'll be using 17. The half inch I will leave it to attach the plain to the main fabric. So I'll be marking from the shoulder line. This is where my shoulder is. I'll mark it from there to 17. Then I will just go ahead and cut it following that 3 inches width. I'll go ahead and cut it there. You can see I mark from the shoulder line down to 17. That's where the 17 stops. This is where my 17 stops. Assuming it's the main fabric, this is where my 17 is. You go ahead using that 3 inches neck width to cut it this way. And this is what you should be having. This is what you should be having after cutting it out. Don't throw this piece away, or if you want to get rid of it, go ahead and measure it. Mine is 3 inches, so that you know what you're going to be using to cut, the amount of fabric you need to cut to close this opening back on the plain fabric. So mine is 3 inches. When I'm cutting it on the plain, I will be cutting 3.5 on fold. So this is what we're having. So I'll go ahead and cut the same thing like this on my fabric, and then I'll bring it to show us how to go about the plain fabric, the design that is on it. So this is what we are having. I've cut it on my fabric, and this is what we are having. Now coming to the plain fabric, I've cut mine 3.5 inches. Then I iron it on fold. I've ironed it down. It's very important for you to iron it on fold. Now you will be the length. To get the length for this, you measure your back neckline and then the front neckline. So the opening in front for my own is 17, right? 17 times 2, both sides. 17 times 2 is 34, plus 8.5 inches for the back. When I measure my back neckline round, is 8.5 inches. So 34 plus 8.5 inches is 42.5. So I will go ahead and cut 45 inches so that I won't run short of fabric. The excess I will trim it out when I'm done. So I cut 45 inches. Now when you are attaching it, I try to explain it on this paper, but I noticed that the paper was somehow difficult, so I went back to use the main fabric to explain it. But what I'm trying to explain here is that when attaching it, you have to open it up. You have to open it up. I will explain it on the main fabric. So guys, if you've not subscribed, please do so. Hit on the subscribe button, click on the bell icon to get notified whenever I drop a new video, and give this video a thumbs up if you find it interesting, and share with your family and friends. Please give your sister a subscribe. Give your sister a subscribe. I will be glad if you subscribe. Yes, thank you so much. Okay, now I will use the main fabric to illustrate it. I tried to illustrate it on the paper, but it was kind of difficult. So now this is your fabric, right? The plain that you have, you go ahead and fold it like this. It's very important for you to iron it to get this ghetto or this crease line, so that you measure it. What you do is, if you let's say you want the opening for the front to be 8 inches, and you just fold it like this and measure it from the beginning to the 8 inches, thinking that that is how your opening will be, you will be wrong. At the end of the day, you are going to attach to the back neckline, right? So just imagine you marking from that place to the down and said it's the opening that you want, or the depth of the front neckline. When you attach it to the back, you will notice that it will be very, very, very high. It will be very, 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 very high. That is to say, where you started measuring down to your 8 inches is from your shoulder line, not from the back neckline. From your shoulder line to the front, just shoulder line to the front. This is where the 8 inches. So if you go ahead and sew it, just like I pin it down like this, you will notice that it will be too close. There won't be any opening at all. It will be too close to your neck. So what you are going to do in order to get that 8 or 9 inches or 7 inches or 6 inches opening in front is for you to measure the back neck, the back neck depth. Measure it round and see what you get there. When I measured mine, it was 4.5 inches. Then you measure it from the center back to your shoulder line. Mine was 4.5 inches. Then I will measure the front from the shoulder line to where I want the opening to be. I want mine to be 8 inches. So I measure from the shoulder line to 8 inches. Now from the shoulder line to 8 inches and the back is 4.5. So I'll go ahead and mark from this starting point. I'll mark 4.5 down. That's to say from the center back. Now I mark 4.5 down, right? That is for the back. Now from that 4.5 point, I will now mark, that is to say that is the shoulder line. I will now mark 8 inches for the front opening. That is how I want the neck depth for the front to be. That is how you get accurate opening for this kind of neckline. If I measure it, if I take the let's call it collar. If I take the collar and measure it round, you can see that the mark for the 4.5 matches on the shoulder line. Then this other one is for the 8 inches. Now I will take it and open it. If I measure it like this, if I measure it from the shoulder, from the, let's say the center back down, I will be having 12 inches. So I will be measuring 12 inches instead of you measuring 8 inches, thinking that the front opening or neck depth will be 8 inches. No. Now that I've done this calculation, I will now go ahead and open it up like this. Match the two ghetto line. Match it like this. If possible, you go ahead and pin it down. And then I will mark from the center back, which is this point. I will mark it down to my 12 inches. I hope you will understand what I'm trying to explain here. Then the remaining part, I will sew it close. I will sew from that 12 inches down close. So let me pin it so that we'll see what I'm trying to explain here. You pin it this way, and then I'll go ahead and pin it again this way. When you open it up, let's assume you've sewn it. You open it up, you can see the difference between this one and the first one that I just marked 8 inches. Can we see how open this one is? This is how open this one would be. So go ahead and attach it. Can we see how it is? I'll go ahead and close it and bring it back. Then I will close it on the center, and this one will be for the sleeve. Remember I told you I removed 3 inches for the sleeve length. Now I cut this one 3.5 as well. I will also go ahead and attach it. Let me close this one and bring it back. So I've closed it, and when you close it, you should be having something like this. This is how it should look like after closing it. Can we see the opening? This is what you should have. So when you are measuring it to see if you are on the right side, measure from this point. This should be your shoulder line. You measure from that point. That's where your neck, your back neck and the front meet. You measure the shoulder line. That will be the shoulder line. You measure it down. When I measured mine, it was exactly 8 inches for the neck depth for the front. Now I will go ahead and put the bodies together and notch the center back. I will notch the center back of the main body, and I've notched the center back for the collar. Now I will take it to the machine. Turn it this way so that I will be able to attach it properly. Show us how to go about it. And this kaftan will be having a pocket, an inner pocket on the side. So this is how I will be attaching it. Center back of the collar, match it with the center back of the main fabric this way, and then you go ahead and use your 1/2 inch to sew it. And then I will also attach the sleeve. I will also attach the sleeve, and this is what we are having. After attaching it, I went ahead to notch the neckline. Notch the back neckline so that it will relax. Then I overlocked it, and then I went ahead to top stitch it. If you are top stitching it, make sure that the seam is bent towards the main fabric and top stitch it on the main fabric. But if you don't want to top stitch it, you can leave it like that. But I went ahead to top stitch mine. I top stitched the sleeve as well, and this is what we're having. I've attached my pocket. Now what I'm going to do now is to take it, turn it to the wrong side, and then I'll be using just 1/2 inch to sew my own down. I'll go ahead and use 1/2 inch to sew it. That's sewing from the sleeve, sew it round the pocket like this, sew it round, sew it down. When I get to the down part, I will measure from the hemline upward with 17 to 18 inches. You can use 18 inches, but I use 17 inches. I use 18 inches for mine, but you can use 17 inches as well. So I mark from the hemline upwards like this with 18 inches. Mark 18 inches, and then I will do the same thing with the other side. Now I will go ahead and sew it to that point, and then turn this place like this. Turn it and turn the hemline and place it on my mannequin. Iron everything and place it on my mannequin so you see how the final look looks like. And this, guys, bring us to the end of our tutorial. If you find this interesting, please don't forget to hit on the subscribe button. Please, guys, subscribe, support your girl. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell to get notified whenever I upload a video, and give this video a thumbs up if you find it interesting. Share with your family and friends. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I love you all. God bless you wherever you're watching me from. God bless your nation. God bless Nigeria. Let's stay safe and show love to one another. Love you so much, guys. See you guys in my next one. Bye.